Hi book friends! I've decided to change up the way that I'm doing this month's reading vlog. I actually just wanted to focus on the books that I'm reading within a week. So I'm going to take you along on a week of reading. More specifically, reading two of the most talked about books on book platforms right now if you're on more of the fantasy, romantasy, basically anything that's probably nonfiction side of book platforms, and those books are Shield of Sparrows and Silver Elite. I'm sure before I even said those, you probably already had it in your mind of which books I was going to talk about. I just thought that'd be really fun to do a reading vlog of those two books. I've heard that Shield of Sparrows is like Cinderella meets The Witcher, which I absolutely adore The Witcher. So I definitely have high hopes for that. I actually went looking for Silver Elite and Shield of Sparrows at Barnes & Noble yesterday and came up empty-handed because apparently they sold out like immediately once I got the books. People are saying that Shield of Sparrows is the romantasy of the year. Will it live up to the expectations and the hype? Let's find out. Fun little fact, I actually downloaded Shield of Sparrows onto my Kindle because it's on Kindle Unlimited, which in my mind that equals free because I'm paying for the membership. So since I couldn't find it at Barnes & Noble, it is on Kindle Unlimited, which is like incredible. I just have to say that books that are in first person are my absolute favorite. I love feeling like I'm in the mind of the character. It's the best. Okay, they describe one of the characters, which I assume is probably gonna end up being like the main male character, the Guardian. A man rumored to be more vicious and deadly than any creature crafted by the gods. So we already know he's just gonna be hot, right? That's like the classic description for somebody who is going to be so hot in any romantasy book. What? Oh man, we're getting started early with the twists and turns. I'm hooked, I'm bought in. BRB gonna go order this on Barnes & Noble right now, so I have my book trophy already set up. You guys probably think I'm kidding, but I'm actually on Barnes & Noble right now, literally adding this book to my cart as we speak. Yup. You know, and since we're here, let's just go ahead and pre-order the new Rachel Gillig book that's coming out, The Night and the Moth. I literally am so excited for this. May has some like absolutely incredible books. The fantasy writers are at it and I'm loving them for it, so thank you. Little side quest complete, so now we can go back to reading. So I got to chapter 11. I think it's like 100 and something pages into the book. Like I said, I'm bought in. Obviously, I just purchased the physical copy of the book to have on my shelf because I just already know I'm going to love this. Being a reader is just the absolute best. Fun little fact, on Mondays and Wednesdays in the afternoon, I coach at an all-female gym in the town that I live in. CrossFit style workouts, HIIT, barbell work. I feel like encouraging women to get stronger and take their health seriously, and also being so empowering and creating this family, this sisterhood, and I absolutely love it. It's been amazing for me just to have something to get out of the house. I worked sales for quite a few years before I had my son, and then when I had him, I just chose to take a step back from work. I also love to work out there, so I typically on Mondays and Wednesday mornings go to a 6 a.m. class. Not as fun, but it is nice having a space for women to go and to work out and be around other women and to feel encouraged and empowered when they're seeing other women lifting heavy and pushing their bodies. So that is where I'm heading to now. So I'm going to go coach for a couple hours and then head home, have dinner with my family, and probably get some reading in tonight. I saw today that this book is being turned into a movie, which makes me so excited, mainly for the reason that I cannot wait to see these monsters come to life on the big screen. The grizzly bear that is ginormous and has spikes all over its body and is terrifying, or the mountain lion type creatures, or even just like the crux, like the bird things that apparently black out the sky and attack everyone. Like those things, which actually now that I think about it, that kind of reminds me of the movie Birds. If anybody has seen that, the movie terrified me as a child. Anyways, super exciting time to be a reader right now because then you can finally get to see these books that have been playing in your own head come onto the big screen. All I gotta say is that I want to live in a treehouse. Have you seen the guy who makes those really exquisite, amazing treehouses on the HGTV channel? Because that is kind of what I'm picturing here. I'm also thinking in the inheritance cycle, Aragon. This is such a side tangent and so random, but when Aragon visits the elves and they all live in their homes that are made within the trees and in the forest, I guess it's kind of what I'm picturing here as well. Little random tidbit. Okay, I know you shouldn't laugh at somebody getting hit. Picturing. I'm slapping her during training, and it's a hilarious image, I'm not gonna lie. Papa? What? I'm officially halfway through this book. Oh my gosh. Guys. I want to flip my camera, but the zoom is just not that good on this. So the owl just like swooped by our window and it like landed up in this tree. I'm watching it right now. Okay. I don't know what I developed an obsession for owls. It just flew away. Wow, it was just literally so majestic. There's a lot going on right now outside my window. There's a lot of animal bird activity happening. That was so cool. It's 11 a.m. Why did I think that they sleep during the day? Wow. Okay, enough of the owl. Back to talking about Shield of Sparrows. I'm halfway through. Just something about it is hooking me in. I love a first-person told story in the character's mind, so you don't actually know what you should be believing. There's no other point of view, so I have no idea what other characters are thinking or what their thought process is. Every time you think that you have something figured out, you don't. It's just action-packed. You go from like a little bit of a lull and then it's like action and it just like it fades off nicely. You know, sometimes you'll be reading a fantasy book and it's like this intense thing happens and then we drop off and then like this intense thing happens and we drop off. I feel like this one has a good pacing for bringing in those moments that are intense and extreme and very like high stakes feeling, but then having it taper off in a smooth way, transition into the next thing that's happening within this book and this story. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna see how far I can get within the next hour or two. I have 25% left in this book, and there have just been some absolutely insane things that have happened recently. I will say that while I suspected one thing to happen, I still was like, oh my gosh. And how did you guys pull that off? Wouldn't it have been inked differently? I also have theories, but I can't exactly figure out how they work or how they tie together. What do the gold eyes mean? They feel very important for some reason. I'm hoping that I find out in the last 25% of this book, or I'm gonna be left just wondering and reeling until the second book comes out. So we're gonna sit here, we're gonna read a little bit and hopefully find some more answers to all the questions that I have. I'm feeling like Odessa. I have a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. I also have to say that the scene between Guardian and Odessa in the ring, where she is just raging out, that's one of like my favorite like little micro tropes. And I feel like you'll understand what I'm talking about once you get to that point, but I love it. Why does Odessa remind me of Alan from The Hangover with Carlos? So much more sense once you read this book. Why is that the scene that I'm picturing in my head for this moment? Not my son waking up right when I'm trying to read more. No. Okay, I'm gonna continue this tonight then and figure out what happens in this book. We're down to the final hour and 13 minutes left in this book. I'm on 89%, chapter 56. We're gonna finish it right now. I'm not liking his mom. I get it started as something innocent, but gosh, the more that is said, it's just, I'm not liking it. Oh dang. It's happening! Serves her right. That conniving little spy. I am happy for that, so yeah. No! Ah! It's like pandemonium right now. Am I gonna cry? cry, I don't wanna cry, I don't wanna cry. Oh my gosh. Dude. I don't like the ending of this book. Why did I just get goosebumps? Oh my gosh. Oh, what a Friday. What a Friday. I'm done. I need to sit with everything that just happened, so I'm gonna go process. I've had time to sit and think about this book, and now I'm ready to talk about it. First off, I need to start and just say, 1, yes, I went out, I bought a shelf trophy. You all watched me place this order at the very beginning of the video. I finally actually got it. It took a little bit longer to ship than I was expecting, but I think there was some stock issues. I was able to get this one with the sprayed edges. When I'm talking about getting sprayed edges, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I want on a book, a special edition book or an exclusive book from a certain brand or certain company. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this is actually so beautiful. And the inside of the book as well. My gosh, I feel like you could just do like a video like purely on like how beautiful this book looks. Absolutely worth it, worth the price. I mean, I'll be quite honest, I used a Barnes & Noble gift card on it, so in my mind that's free money. Like, that's girl math. Gosh, even the back, the little details, the coloring on this is really just absolutely stunning. I cannot say enough about it. Red Tower Books, you all crushed it with this book. Anyways, let's get into talking about this book. I think that what I've been noticing on book social media is that you're split into different camps. And let me break those camps down for you. What I've been noticing is that you're either in the camp that love Shield of Sparrows, did not like Silver Elite. You like Silver Elite, did not like Shield of Sparrows. Or you just don't like either of them. I'll be honest, have not seen a camp where people like both of these books. Granted, I haven't read Silver Elite yet. I've only read Shield of Sparrows. But gosh, I might fall into the camp that doesn't like Silver Elite because I really like this book. And I just feel like those are the only camps that I'm noticing. So I'll definitely get back to you on my thoughts on Silver Elite when I do read it. I digress. That's like an entirely different topic because we're talking about Shield of Sparrows. So let's get back on talking about Shield of Sparrows. If you haven't noticed, I tend to get sidetracked. So reeling it back in. I gave this book 4.25 stars. I wish that on Goodreads there was the option to do quarter star and half star ratings. This was leaning more towards a 4-star read rather than a 5-star read, which is why it's 4.25 stars for me. I thought that for this being the author's first time venturing into the fantasy romantasy realm and the genre, she did a really great job writing a story that is easy to digest. I think that if you're newer to this genre, this is an amazing book to pick up. The world building was easy to follow. The characters made sense. The characters, for the most part, really like 90% of these characters are human. They're not like fae, fairies, other mythical creatures. If you have ever watched The Witcher, there's parts of this book that are very reminiscent and have the same feeling and vibes towards The Witcher. Especially the Guardian, the main male character, essentially The Witcher. I mean, quite honestly, like there's so many similar attributes that he has. The changing of the eye color, the way that he hunts monsters, like that. Like that, literally right there. But I loved it. I actually think that's maybe a reason why I really loved it. Maybe a little bit of a lull halfway through. It was a little repetitive with certain things. But then the ending of the book was like, my gosh, that's insane. And you watched it. You literally watched my reactions just a little bit ago, being just gobsmacked by the plot twists that were happening. It was like Oprah when she's just handing out stuff. Everybody gets it. Plot twist, plot twist, plot twist. Like, that's really how it felt. I've seen a lot of critique towards the main female character, Odessa, and a lot of it is fair. I can understand why people felt a certain type of way about her questions. I think that if you're someone who doesn't like first person writing, you maybe might not like this book, which means that you're getting all the questions that she asked. I do think that that is why I didn't give this 4.5 stars or 5 stars. It's because I almost wish that we as readers could have just had those questions ourselves. It almost felt like for every question I had, Odessa was asking the same thing, but I don't need my female main character to be asking the questions that I am. Does that make sense? It's kind of like I'm smart enough as a reader to figure this out and to ask these same questions that I'll discover later on. They don't have to be given to me. But that's kind of why I think that this would be a great book for somebody who's maybe new to the genre and just getting into it, is because you kind of are spoon-fed some of those things. Despite that though, again, great book. Absolutely enjoyed it. I would recommend this book. I personally thought that it did live up to the hype. Curious to know what you thought if you read this book, and if you haven't, is it on your TBR? If it's not, you should add it. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog as well as my thoughts on this book. Curious to know if you guys want to see more reading vlogs like this. Please let me know. As always, happy reading.